Hey, how's it going? I know I left you guys hanging in the Nether last episode, and we'll get back there, but I think first things first this episode, we need to do some cleanup work. We've got all of our stuff sitting in those chests, we've got some unfinished texturing on the sides of Greg's Tavern we gotta do, and we need to gather quite a bit of resources for our spawner, which we're gonna build this episode. To start this episode, we're gonna plant some spruce trees and gather a bunch of spruce wood. And then we'll move our stuff out of our little initial starter base, starter tree fort, whatever you want to call it. We'll move our stuff out of our starter spot into the basement for some, more permanent and a lot more organized storage. We'll plant a bunch more spruce trees. I want to get this at least wrapped around to the edge of the cliff here so that we kind of have a wall and start bringing them towards the village here. And then after we plant those trees, we'll go to the Nether because I do want to get at least one block of soul sand. And once we have a block of soul sand, we can finish our little bubble elevator and make our mine fully functional. And then when our mine is fully functional, we can gather all the resources we need for the spawner. And then we'll build a spawner. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, I've decided to give up on planting the trees for now for two reasons. One, we're about to build a mob spawner that's going to give us essentially infinite bone meal, and that's going to make this way faster. And two, as part of the mob farm, we're probably going to build our enchant table. Since we'll have XP farm, we'll build an enchant table probably right at the spawner. So we'll have looting, because I'm actually getting terrible drop rates from these leaves. So I'm having to cut down the trees that actually generate well, just to get enough saplings to further grow more trees. So now I'm ending up with a bunch of these trees with like the little tiny leaf tops, and they don't look that good. So I'm gonna wait till we have looting and we have bone meal, and then we'll spread this. It'll spread much faster, and we can be more consistent, and we won't have as many of these bad trees in there. To be continued. I'm gonna encroach probably, I don't know, halfway between me and those trees. I'll probably encroach with the forest. It's not gonna come all the way up to the tavern, but I do want it to be close enough that it feels like the village is built on the forest. And I think I forgot to mention it in the intro, but you're probably wondering why there's a random nether portal here. It's because I thought it would be a cool thumbnail to essentially overlay the nether through this portal, and so show the nether as if this portal is directly linked to the nether and you can like see straight through it and it doesn't have the purple glowiness. No one clicked that thumbnail, so I changed it. So now I have to break down this stupid portal that I didn't even use for the actual thumbnail for the video. So that's why there's a portal here. Now you know. Don't worry, it's not saying. Anyway, back to work. There we go. All of our stuff is moved into place. The organization isn't perfect for now. This is kind of how I usually do it to a degree. This isn't a huge storage room again, so this isn't a perfect method, but this works pretty good, especially for a starter storage system like this. We don't have a lot of capacity, so we're definitely mixing and matching a lot of blocks, but keep like valuables in here. I try to sort things by row, like we know we'll have a lot of iron, so we'll need spaces. Same thing with like copper. And then like unique items, obviously like diamonds. Lapis will get a decent amount. That probably may make sense to have a row too, but things like diamonds and emeralds are you're not going to have a bunch, at least at the start. Gunpowder, eventually it'll have its own chest, obviously, as we get a gunpowder farm. And that's why we leave some spots open to expand as we go. We have things like tools. This is like mob drops, tools. This is our first wooden pickaxe, still holding on to her. I separate my wood by logs, planks, and then you always end up with like bits and pieces left over, stairs and trapdoors and things like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sand, your stones, your dirts, your herbal supplements, and then this is kind of overflow wool. This will probably be like nether blocks at some point. That's pretty much it. That's our storage system, and that should hold us over for a little while. And hopefully we don't outgrow it in like 2 episodes and have to build something else. But for now, that should be solid. We did take down the portal. That's gone now, so that's good. And again, as we talked about, this forest is ugly. Don't worry. It'll look better in the future when we have more resources. I think the next step is to get ourselves some kind of golden trim here. Actually, do we have gold? Maybe first step first is to get some gold, or we just risk it. I don't know. I'm feeling brave. Yep, we're just gonna risk it. We don't have any gold. We're gonna head to the Nether, and our only objective while we're in there is, first of all, don't die. Second objective after not dying is just one piece of soul sand. One piece of soul sand, we can make our bubble elevator, and then we can efficiently go down to our mines to get the rest of the resources we need for our mob farm. One of the big things we needed was trapdoors, and we cut down a bunch of those spruce trees in an effort to grow that forest, so we're set on wood, so we can make plenty of trapdoors. We'll also need a decent amount of wool, actually, so hopefully I remember that when I'm kind of walking around here in the overworld to shear some sheep in the area. We don't need a lot of wool, but we need enough to prevent spider spawns. It would be nice to have string, but they just clog up mob farms, and it's just not worth having them, so we'll have to get rid of them. But for the most part, everything else will spawn in this mob farm, so we'll get skeletons, zombies, and creepers. We just don't want spiders because, you know, they just climb up, but they don't fall down. There's ways to prevent it. You can put like cactuses in there. It's just not worth it. Let's dump our valuable diamond pickaxe before we go in here, because I'm okay with losing our iron armor and stuff, but I do not want to lose the very few diamonds that we have. Water bucket's pretty much useless in there, so there's no reason to carry that. And we're not wearing gold, so we're gonna have to avoid piglins. We've got plenty of food and a working sword, and our armor is durable enough. If we're careful, oh, you know what? You always end up mining a lot of netherrack. We'll bring an extra pickaxe too. All right, for reals this time. Let's go back in the nether. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. We committed the cardinal sin pretty early here already. I was just thinking is we didn't bring any kind of flint or anything to relight this portal, so hopefully we don't get a gas spawn here to blow everything up. That's Crimson Forest. I don't believe there's any soul sand there, so we'll start heading, oh great, kind of away from that if we can here. Maybe we'll try to get some gold nuggets and just make something the old-fashioned way here. How many nuggets is it for an ingot? Because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a helmet. Is it 9? Oh, you get a bunch though. Okay. We actually might just be able to make a helmet real quick. Maybe this is worth farming up real quick. Hold on a second. What's 9 times 5? 45? So we need 45 gold. Any more gold nuggets? Just, oh god. And there's our first death. So it was worth farming up the gold. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in time. Whoops. Oh, jeez. Well, that's the Nether for you. That place is always bad. We are playing on hard difficulty, if that wasn't clear. I think I showed it in episode 1. I may not have, but yeah, this world is on hard. Eventually we'll want to cure villagers, so it kind of needs to be. And it seems like the way to play Minecraft, honestly. Even if it is a little frustrating sometimes. Can we sprint past him and get our stuff? We have no gold, not one piece. Jeez, that's unfortunate. Okay. We'll just dig into a wall, hopefully, and get enough nuggets. Could I have offered him a gold nugget? Would that have been enough? Oh, he's gonna camp this right out, isn't he? How good is he at avoiding lava? Not good. I think our safest bet is going to be to dig right into the walls here. Hopefully we get lucky and hit something. And hopefully one doesn't spawn behind us. Let's actually... just in case. Okay. Always nether in safety, boys and girls. Ah, oh, man, that's a bummer. I was hoping we could go deathless for a lot longer, but that's why we don't play hardcore. Alright, now that we're a little safer to explore, we still have to worry about, is it hoglins, the big like boar-looking pig things? Anyway, we'll look out for them, but at least we won't be murked by one of those guys. I think he had an enchanted weapon or something too. He killed me quick. Just don't know if I'm brave enough to really like explore the Crimson Forest, because if we run into some of those boars, they're gonna knock us around and we're gonna go flying. I'm thinking we might go up in elevation a little bit. So typically with my, I don't think I talked about this yet, but typically I move my nether portal up to like, I can't remember what the roof of the nether is, but I come down from the roof of the nether like, I don't know, 15 or 20 blocks so that I can build like a cool tunnel through the nether and connect my portals. You can get on top of the nether And while that is efficient, I just think it's more fun to actually tunnel through the Nether, and it adds a little bit more complexity for your, Nether portal system. And I like to use the Nether portals. I know some people are like, oh, travel through the old world, overworld only. But if you make like cool tunnels with packed ice and stuff, and you can shoot boats down the tunnels, and you decorate them or theme them based on the, like if you have a tunnel going to your mob spawner, maybe you put mob heads everywhere or something. I don't know, that was a bad example. If it's going to your prismarine farm, you make the walls out of prismarine, you get the idea. So I like to have my Nether tunnel somewhere up high so that you're digging through mostly solid surfaces, but not on the roof because it just looks bad up there. And I guess you could theoretically build yourself a little enclosure around your Nether pathways on the roof, but I think it looks better tunneling through. Just start digging through the walls and hopefully we pop out somewhere interesting. Not what we were looking for, but that is a fortress. So that's good. That's not too bad from our portal. It's, again, in a nightmare biome. We have so much Crimson Forest around us, but at least we know where the Nether fortress is now. It's not an ideal location, but the search continues because, oh, is that soul fire? Is that blue fire is on soul sand only, right? Oh, perfect. So we just gotta get over there. So wait, so is this soul sand? This looks like netherrack in my shader. Well, that's confusing. Anyway, I think that might be soul sand, so we're gonna go over there. Alright, that gas was definitely trying to give us some trouble, and we tried to return it to sender, but he was not having it. But we got our soul sand, so that's good. Drop some nether blocks in our now dubbed nether chest. Need one soul sand for our elevator. And I didn't think about it, but we're actually... it's funny, typically I would be so prepared for things like this, but when you're doing it in a Let's Play like this, man, it is just so easy to forget about the littlest things. We don't have a single piece of, is it seaweed or kelp or whatever? So the only way to get like a waterlogged tunnel like that is kelp it, which is the best option, to bone meal it from the bottom all the way up, or you delete blocks underneath it with something like sand to get a solid waterlogged thing. I also wasn't thinking we're gonna need, what is it, 120 blocks deep, so we're gonna need 120 bone meal. So I don't know if you saw, but when we were in that soul sand valley, I'm sure I'll include it in one of the clips, there's some bones there. There's like a skeleton. I may run back into the nether, grab up that skeleton, and then if that doesn't quite get us enough bone meal, we can break down some of our sugarcane or wheat or something in a composter real quick to get the last few pieces. I really want that bubble elevator to be functional because it is just so nice that when you're going to mine, you can just drop down, get what you need, and get out of there. So back into the nether again. We got our soul sand, and we got it in a safe space now, so even if we perish to that annoying ghast, we'll be alright. Let's grab another pickaxe because we almost deleted this one. Digging through all the netherrack, as expected. Alright, let's go get some bones. Then we're going to have to go on a small adventure to find some kelp. Enough pieces, literally we just need one piece that we can bone meal. I can't believe we never grabbed a piece of that when we were in all those waters. There's probably some right in the bay here, honestly, hopefully. I hope. Yeah, but we'll grab a piece of that, and then we'll go waterlog that mine. And, still build a mob spawner eventually. Hopefully this episode isn't really long. Okay, we've got our kelp, our bucket of water, our signs, and our bone meal. Let's put our real helmet back on, and let's go make a bubble elevator. Sounds like rain. Yes. A beautiful day to be down in the mines. First things first, we need to get rid of these ladders, and we need to put signs in the entrances. And then, oh, I forgot. One more piece. We need the soul sand. We just went to the whole nether just to get the soul sand and didn't even bring it with us. All right, go grab that, and then we'll get rid of those ladders and put our signs up. Not really sure what I was thinking there. We need the bubble elevator to get back up. That's pretty dumb. So it's gonna be annoying, but we're gonna have to dig down with the water on our head. So let's get rid of all those ladders again. Alrighty, so now we just break this kelp, and hopefully we see bubbles, and that means we did it right. There they are. Okay, mine is functional. Yep, they do replenish your oxygen, although this is pretty quick, so honestly I don't think that's that big of an issue. I did think of that though, we don't have respiration yet, so looks like that won't be an issue. Yeah, you can shoot up to the top, you can drop midway, just like that. Shoot back up to the top. I probably should put a drop from the mid-level to the bottom. I don't know. It only takes a second to hop back in here and go the other way. Then this one drops you all the way down. Just like that. There you go. Mine entrance complete. Still want to decorate the actual landing zones for each level and do a little more detailing work on the actual mine entrance, but it's fully functional now, and that was the goal. Now, we're going to drop down to that mid-level and strip mine for a little while, because we need quite a bit of cobblestone for this mob farm. So that's our next step. I'm gonna go clean out my inventory, grab some pickaxes, and mine a bunch of cobble. And then we should be ready to build the mob farm. Okay, I think we have everything we need. I'm a little nervous. I think we have like enough cobblestone. I originally was gonna make this a 3-tier mob farm. I may play it safe and go 2. We'll build the first 2 and see how we sit on cobble. I really don't want to have to make a trip back just to finish the roof, so we'll see. But for this mob farm, you just need a bunch of cobble. You need a stack of spruce trapdoors for every level you want to build for the farm. And I make a 3x3 chute, or at least I have in the past, I should say. But using the carpets to effectively stop the spiders, I think we can go back to a 2x2 chute, which makes killing the monsters way easier. So we're gonna risk it there, which is gonna save us some cobble too, because the structure is just bigger if you make the water columns bigger. Oh, that's the other thing we need. We need 2 buckets of water, because we're gonna need an infinite water source. And now we just need to get all this stuff out into the middle of the ocean, because my goal is to eventually make the farms in this world aesthetic. But for right now, we need functional before we can work on that. So we're gonna build just a functional farm where we can get our tools crafted and get some XP levels and just some, you know, useful materials like gunpowder and bones and things like that. So let's get this mob farm built. I'll probably step in here and there just to kind of explain functionally how it works, but for the most part we'll just time-lapse this part because it is just a big ugly farm. And I'm gonna put it in the ocean for mob spawn reasons, so, and I'll put it around the corner and far enough away in an area I don't really think we're gonna build, and if we do, you know, eventually we'll build a better looking farm for this kind of thing, and we'll probably just tear this one down. So for now it just has to be out of the way and functional. I'll put it reasonably far away, but as I kind of talked about earlier, I'll probably link up a nether tunnel up around like Y level like 110 in the nether, so that we can get there relatively quickly from this base or from this town, and it won't be too bad. We won't have to sail across the ocean in our boat every single time. Oh, there's another thing we need. I think we left our boat up in the water. Yeah, we've got our chest boat to help us transport the stuff. So even with the chest boat, we've got 2 inventories. I think we might have to make 2 trips. So as you can see, I did bring blocks to make a enchant table. Actually, I'll just make the enchant table now. So we got the 5 diamonds in that episode, 3 of them for our diamond pickaxe, and 2 of them for this enchant table. That's gonna let us get fortune, hopefully, on this diamond pickaxe, which will then allow us to get a lot more diamonds a lot faster going forward. So we're bringing a stack of lapis, obviously, too, to try to get that enchant. Anvil, grindstone. I'm bringing some stone bricks just to make the area that we're standing and killing look a little bit nicer, but again, we're not going purely aesthetic in this thing, it's mostly functional. And for now, we'll do ladders, because when we do put the nether portal in, we'll put the nether portal right up on the farm, so we won't actually have to climb up and down every time in the future, just for this initial build and until we link up our nether portal. I think that's everything. Let's just start moving the stuff there, set up a little base camp. Alright, so this is kind of base camp. We didn't have enough stone bricks, so, you know, we dirt pillared up, because eventually this will just get closed in when we have our nether portal. The nether portal will go right here, so we'll be able to walk right out into our farm. Get your enchant table, you know, anvil, grindstone. These chests are just holding my building materials for now. We got a full inventory. I can get most of the farm built, but unfortunately I think we're going to have to make one trip up and down to get a little bit more cobble probably to finish it off. I'm bringing a crafting table with me on this first trip in hopes that I can make some slabs for the first floor and for the roof, and for like where the water flows, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, this is your basic kill chamber. Just slabs over hoppers. You know, XP can roll off slabs nicely. I'm pretty sure like this, mobs can't see you. So underneath these slabs, you've got hoppers, which feed these chests, and that's it. We'll manually clean these out. Eventually we could put an item sorter, but when we get to the point that we're item sorting, honestly, like, we're not going to be using this farm anymore, so that works fine for now. We'll have to throw a lot of quivers and arrows and stuff down into the nothingness. I could also put hoppers underneath these, so I could put 2 chests and then hopper into those, and then 2 chests and hopper into those, and extend our storage a little bit if it's a little too finicky. Actually, you know what? We might have, because we didn't go with the, you know what, let's just do that real quick. It's actually not a bad idea. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hoppers. There we go. That's a little bit more storage. Because the bow drops from skeletons really do add up over time, it'll be nice to have the extra storage. Alright, so now we're going to build this up 22 blocks so that they're 1 hit when they land down here. And we can either punch them at first, or when we eventually get mending, we don't have to worry about using up our durability, we can just stab them. But it's nice at first because you will rip through some durability on an iron sword if you just try to punch everything. So we'll go up and build the first kill platform. I'll probably walk through the first kill platform and the way the water trenches work. It's all very straightforward. You probably have seen this farm a million times, but anyone out there who's new to this kind of stuff, this is definitely the easiest early game one for me, at least in my opinion, because it's just wood and cobblestone. You don't even really need the enchant table set up and stuff. I just like to do that because it's nice to have, obviously. All right, let's build up 22 blocks and build some floors. Okay, so this is what one level of the farm looks like. It's pretty simple. You just have 4 spawning platforms. They're all 8 blocks by 8 blocks. These carpets are blocking every 3 by 3 spawn area. And the tricky part and why the pattern looks really weird is that these trapdoors actually count. So this is a 3 by 3 area. counting the trapdoors. So you need this carpet here, which is why you can't just do like here and then go 4 or whatever. So that you end up with this weird pattern, but this is the way to do it, trust me. I've tried doing it the other way and you will definitely still get spiders spawned. You need to have trapdoors lining the edges of each kind of spawn platform because mobs don't see these as a dangerous fall. They just think it's a normal block and they walk right into your water blocks. Because the platforms are 8 by 8 blocks, that means that the pathway here is 8 blocks, which is how far water will flow. So if you put 2 blocks of solid water at the end of each of these, it perfectly flows and drops them down the chute. Now it's only a 2 by 2 chute, which for spiders would be a huge problem because they'd be climbing it up and clogging it all the time, but since we're blocking spider spawns, that's not an issue. So all we're going to do is repeat this exact layout 2 more times above this, and by using slabs, I actually saved a significant amount of cobblestone. I'm like 99% sure mobs will spawn on a top slab, so we should be fine doing this. If nothing spawns in this thing, I'm going to be real bummed out, but so we'll repeat this exact same process 2 more times. Alright, back to it. Get this thing done. And here it is. The mob farm. It's not pretty, but it is effective. We've got our enchant table, we've got our spot for our nether portal, and we've got a bunch of mobs just ready to give us their XP because they're so nice. So that's it. I mean, it's simple. There's not really much to say about it, honestly. Mobs spawn on each of the 3 platforms. They fall down to almost dead, and then you just kind of slash at them down here. Get the XP out the front through the slabs, and the loot falls down into these chests. The rates are pretty decent. I wouldn't say they're anything amazing. The only thing I'll warn you is that results may vary. If you do this like on a server and there's a lot of people on, people will spawn mobs in different areas of the world, and that affects the mob cap limit, which means you'll get less spawns in your spawner. So this works really well on single player games, but once you start getting into like multiplayer server stuff, these aren't as good. I mean, you can still get spawns. I mean, there's still, when people are moving, things are despawning and they'll spawn in your farm, but your rates will definitely significantly decrease. Like you can see here, I'm pretty quickly getting up to level 30. I think I may have been like level 20 when I was building this thing, so you get pretty decent XP. Yeah, that's it. I think next episode, we'll probably do some mining and get ourselves some diamond armor and diamond tools, and we'll do some enchanting. First things first, we'll probably enchant our diamond pickaxe. Let's do an enchant on it real quick, actually. Just to see what we get. Maybe we'll get lucky on the first enchant. I won't leave you guys hanging again like I did on the Nether episode. We'll do 1 enchant this episode, and then hopefully we get fortune, and then we'll go for some more diamond hunting next episode. And the big thing I want to work on in the next episode is I want to bring villagers to our town and start building out some more smaller buildings in the town for the other woodcutting villagers to live in. Efficiency 4, that's not a bad start. Oh, dang. We'll keep trying next episode until we get at least fortune, but you can see by the time you craft and do your enchant and remove your enchant, you come back up here. You kill everything in the chamber, you're almost back up to 30, so it's pretty quick. And then when you're cycling bad enchants, you just do like the level 1 enchant. To get 1 level back, you'll get that back almost instantly, so. And then you have the added bonus of you're getting bones and gunpowder and arrows. Having some bows early on never hurts, and then, you know, obviously the random other stuff you can randomly get in here, but that's it. That's the mob farm. We'll build another portal and link it up, so we don't have to sail across the ocean every time, and then this will be good to go for a while. We'll make a prettier one later, but this is functional and effective. You made it this far in the episode. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one.